Train the muscles, not the joints. So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today is another wintry, windy day. But I'm just here to talk to you a little bit about numbers today. You know, a lot of people get fixated on numbers, and there's one problem, or maybe there's more than one problem with this, but one major problem with getting too fixated on numbers is that, say you're using machines or cables, because I just had a person asking a question about this. They said in their gym the pulleys are different than say in other gyms, and they find that they can't get an accurate reading on what type of weight they're using or how much weight. So how are they supposed to gauge from one gym to the next? Now, the obvious answer to this is you judge by how many reps you can get with a weight. That's how you judge the intensity. So it doesn't really matter what the number is. I mean, the number can be a way of you memorizing what your general sort of strength is at when you're on a bench press or something, because benches are generally the same. But when you're on a cable machine, because the pulleys are different, or even a leg press, because sometimes the angles on leg presses are different, you won't be able to use just the weight itself. Like, so say you slap 10 plates aside on a leg press, well, one leg press will feel twice as heavy as another leg press because the angles and everything might be different. So you can't just put 10 plates on and say, okay, that's the weight I'm supposed to use today. If you're gonna be switching machines, the only gauge you're gonna have is a measure of intensity as far as how many reps can you do and what is the feel of the weight. So you know if you can slap out, whoa, that's a lot of wind. Wow, a lot of wind all of a sudden, holy shit. Man, you guys are breaking wind. Was that you? I'll go over here where there's less wind maybe. Over here, less wind, a little sheltered. So the bottom line is that if you are, the bottom line is that if you're getting 20 reps of something, you know generally what the intensity is. Or if you could only get 5 reps of something, you know what the intensity is. You know, so that's the way you gauge. You don't gauge just by the weight. You know, I see a lot of guys say, hey, I lifted 1,000 pounds on a leg press. That means, you know, I can do 1,000 pounds on another leg press. Well, one leg press is at 45 degree angle and another one's at a 30 degree angle. You know, the weight is not going to be the same, right? Obviously, weight at a 45 degree angle is going to feel a lot heavier than the same amount of plates at a 30 degree angle on a machine. So it's the same thing with cables. You basically have to gauge based on how many reps you can get. And yeah, I mean, maybe you waste energy on a set in your warm-ups to get a feel for what the weights are, but that doesn't matter really. I find the obsessive thinking where people are always trying to make sure everything's always the same, that's it's not necessary in order for you to make gains. I mean, just put the effort in. As long as your set is going to as deep a failure as you can, or you're challenging the muscle, you're going to get adaptation. So don't worry about it too much. So basically adjust as you go. Adjust as you go. So say you're using a pulley from one machine and then you're going to a different gym and you got a different type of pulley. Well, you know, you get 20 reps and you want to hit 10 reps a day, just increase the weight. Pretty simple stuff, really. But I find that a lot of times people get trained into the thinking of obsessiveness, where they obsess about the numbers and their program, and it has to be exactly 85.5% of my 1 rep max in order to do this set properly. And that stuff's all garbage. You don't have to worry about that stuff so much. I mean, I never worried about that my whole life, and I got to the elite level natural bodybuilding. You don't need to worry about it so much. It's just that when people are writing up programs for other people, they're trying to convey a general idea, and so using these numbers helps give a person an idea. Like, it helps give them a template, so that way they have something to start with. But in the end, your feelings and your sensations have to be first and foremost. What you experience has to be first and foremost. And the other reason why you don't want to get too obsessed with numbers is because sometimes there's things that go on in your day, maybe that day or the day before or whatever, that are going to influence your strength and your numbers in a way that maybe it's not the smartest thing in the world for you to say, oh, no matter what, I got to do 300 pounds on the bench for 10 reps or something like that, or I gotta do the 500-pound squat today. The thing is, if you're obsessed with the numbers, sometimes you'll push through things maybe you shouldn't, you know? If you're basically feeling like, oh, I feel a little weak today, or something's off, or maybe my groove is totally off, or I feel really tight somewhere, you don't want to be obsessing about the numbers then, because if you're obsessed about the numbers, you're going to try to push through when you shouldn't push. And then, of course, if you push through, you most likely will get an injury, or at least you'll tweak something. So you want to pay attention first and foremost to what's happening in this moment. Don't get too fixated on what's on the sheet of paper or on the numbers that you're trying to hit. I hope this helps you understand that numbers aren't the entire picture, and sometimes getting too obsessed with numbers can sometimes hold you back in your training and hold you back with being here in the moment in any one workout that you're in. So thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks a lot to the patron supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.